Today I'm at St Aidan's Nature Reserve near Leeds. Once an open cast coal mine, it has since been transformed, and it officially became an RSPB reserve in 2017, but the iconic drag line still remains. Now it's home to wetlands, grasslands and an incredible variety of wildlife. Perhaps one of the most famous birds at this reserve is the little owl, which almost always is found perching in full view in the compound of the dragline, and the first bird that I've photographed today. Large numbers of ducks such as shoveler and gadwall can be found, and the unmistakable lapwing is present in high numbers. Hello explorers, you join me at St Aidan's Nature Reserve just outside of Leeds, one of my favourite nature reserves in the country. This place is a haven for water birds, ducks, even a few scarce waders as well. I'm just on the hillside at the moment where there's a good chance of seeing grasshopper warbler because it's spring at the moment, as well as some raptors like buzzards, marsh harrier, things like that. Let's see what we can find. In spring, male reed buntings sing from the trees and shrubs around the site. Kestrels also breed and hunt on the reserve. Walking the path along the hillside is a good place to look for migrant passerines, especially in spring and autumn. Now, grasshopper warbler usually reel in this hillside behind me. I just heard one, but it's so difficult to see them. Let's see what we can hear and see. Listen to that. Such a cool sound. I know you're in there. No idea if the camera's picked that up, but there's definitely a grasshopper warbler in there somewhere. I think there's two on this hillside. Seen one here once before in the hawthorn bush. Don't know if there's going to be any luck today. Following the path towards Astley Lake, I passed a little egret overhead before hearing a booming bittern. Bitterns are resident here, but are typically difficult to spot, being very elusive. Some of the common duck species here include pochard and tufted ducks. So behind me is part of the reserve called the Balance Reservoir. There's not too much here. There usually isn't too much here, but there was a nice common tern flying around and the water does look lovely. Sometimes you can spot pink-footed geese on the bank at the back at certain times of year. But yeah, I think we'll go on now to Astley Lake, which I think will have a few more species on. Astley Lake is an attractive site for many water birds, including gulls, ducks, geese and herons, and is a good place to look for waders as well. Today there was a group of avocet here, but little ring plover and common ring plover can also be seen here quite often during summer. And let's not forget the wonderful common terns that breed here too. I think we'll go find some grebes and have a look on the eastern and western reed beds and the various sort of lakes around there. Taking the path between the eastern and western reed beds, I was hopeful for some grebes, and maybe a lucky bittern sighting as I'd seen them before in this area. The ubiquitous great crested grebe was the first to be found. I also encountered swifts screeching overhead, and then my luck was in. A bittern flew up and out of the reed bed just as I turned around. I scrambled and managed to get my camera to focus on it for a quick shot of this secretive bird. No black-necked grebes yet, but we'll keep looking. There's a crowd of people over there, so maybe that's where the grebes are. After managing a good shot of a reed warbler and spotting another confiding reed bunting, I stumble on this lovely mute swan family holding up the path. In addition to the common terns overhead, oyster catchers can regularly be seen on the bank of the main lake over spring and summer, and today was no exception. The causeway via a short woodland path allows passage to the other side of the main lake and a scenic viewpoint known as the Warren. There wasn't too much here today, but often this is a good spot to search for waders on the main spit.
Come on, scared of that.
Heading back to the visitor centre, I passed this confiding common damselfly, before taking a quick stop at the bottom of the main lake, spotting this lovely ringed plover. Just seeing a ringed plover on the bank behind me. So, another wader for the day. Haven't seen too many today. Yeah, usually there's redshank as well. I'm surprised I haven't seen redshank on this site today. But we'll see what else we can find. There's a bit more left of the reserve to explore. There's Bowers Lake and also Lowther Lake. That's if my battery holds up on my phone and camera. But yeah, let's keep exploring. The pools adjacent to Bowers Lake on the Ridge and Furrow produced a grey heron, shoveler and little grebe. But the surprise star of the show was this pair of gargany, a scarce breeding bird and summer visit to the UK. What a treat. This majestic red kite was my final parting gift before leaving and walking back up to the visitor centre to take in the views before I left. St Aidan's, what a day. Always delivers, one of my favourite reserves, and to think it's really only a few miles outside of Leeds. So if you live in Leeds or if you're in the area, it's definitely worth a visit. There's so much to be seen here. Obviously I'm coming in spring, so the species that you get here, they're going to differ if you come in winter or maybe later in the summer, but there are some cracking things to see today. All in all, I managed to see or hear 58 species of bird, and I'll put the full eBird checklist here, and I put a link in the description as well. So not all the birds that I saw or recorded as I was filming you would have seen on the video here, as I didn't manage to capture all of them, but there'll be a full list of them there so you can see what kind of birds you can expect to kind of see here when you come here. So yeah, I spent probably about 5 or 6 hours here today, although I did have a few breaks in between. And I was taking it quite slow. I didn't have the scope with me either. If you bring a scope here, especially to the Warren and look over the main lake, you're probably more likely to see more waders, things like that, things like little ringed plover potentially, dunlin often spotted there. So yeah, plenty to be seen, cracking reserve, love St Aidan's, and yeah, stay tuned and subscribe to see more nature videos. I'm hoping to try and get to every nature reserve in the UK is my goal at some point. So, and beyond as well. We're not just going to focus on the UK on this channel. So yeah, stay tuned and thanks for watching.